I literally just finished reading this, which is why I probably have an awesome glasses mark on my nose. But I know I need to talk about it now before I let anything slip from my brain. Hey guys, welcome to Decorate the Soul. I'm Jen, and this is my very first read with me with How to Stop Feeling Like Shit by Andrea Owen. Andrea Owen. I should have looked that up. I'm the worst preparer ever. Anyway, this was my first book for 2021 to read and review on my list because, I mean, who doesn't want to stop feeling like shit? And the front cover says 14 habits that are holding you back from happiness. And I thought, I am really good at beating the crap out of myself, so why not start the year off with something to not do that? I definitely enjoyed this book. As you can see, I got a lot out of it. I don't like marking books up. I just feel like it defiles them. So what I did instead was I did tabs, and there's a lot of gems in here. So I don't want to read the book to you and tell you all the habits that she gives out because, that's her work, that's not mine. But I wanted to take you along with what I did and how I use this book to change some bad habits. So firstly, in the way that the book is structured is that each chapter is dedicated to a specific type of habit that you might have that's keeping you from being your best self and just being content and happy. What she does at the end of each chapter is asking hard questions. And the way I did that is that I took my journal and I journaled the questions and then the answers right after I read the chapter because I wanted to keep it fresh, what I learned, and sort of being able to kind of do that soul searching type of work immediately. There were a couple times where I would just kind of put a tab to go back, but I mean it still worked either way. But I do think that if you're going to use this book, really finding a way to question yourself, and for me meditating through journaling really worked. I think a major piece that is really important that she talks about in this book is failure, and I'm going to quote it. Without failure, there is no learning. Without failure, there is no improvement. Without failure, there is no creativity or change. The smartest, most innovative, most badass leaders have failed and will continue to do so. If you have to, remind yourself every day that if you stop making mistakes, you stop learning and growing. And that's, I think, something I want to say about this book is that I felt like while there's a lot of habits that we all do, this is directed towards women. So, that we tend to do, I think, because society has pushed a lot onto us. She also makes it okay if you fail. If you fail at cutting out the bad habits that are bad for you. But the point isn't to be perfect, which is a whole chapter on perfectionism in here. The whole point is to try. And that is my personal philosophy, and that's why I totally 100% got behind this book. I think the coolest part of this book is that there were a lot of things where I would start the chapter and it would be about control or I'm trying to think of what specific chapters really hit me. Bracing myself for catastrophe. I didn't 100% think when I started the chapter, and the chapter's only a couple pages long, that it applied to me, and then I was like, oh crap, I do all 14 of the bad habits that are in here. Maybe not to the extreme, there's definitely some more tabs in chapters than others, but there is something like a little bit in each single one that I was able to kind of evaluate. And one of the ones that really struck me and that I'm going to share a little bit of was becoming intimate with your successes. And I forced myself to fill an entire page, so that was 20 things that I was successful at, that I could consider accomplishments. And when I first sat down to do it, that's how hard I beat up myself, that I was actually like, I haven't really accomplished anything, like anything exciting. And she's very, hold on, I did write down, let me see if I have it. She's very like, yes, you have accomplished stuff. Stop taking away from the things that you've done and belittling it. Yeah, and so in this section, she says, we've been brought up not to make a fuss when it comes to being proud of your wins. And that when she talks to clients about it, everybody's like, what? I don't have anything to talk about. I'm not successful. So a lot of this was about kind of listing it out and not writing the excuse behind it. Like for me, it was like graduating college, but part of me wanted to be like, a lot of people graduate college. And she literally writes, nope, nope, nope. And I didn't do it. I kind of just wrote the list out without giving any clarifiers or using any imposter syndrome. And I'm not gonna lie, I saved this with a little post-it note because I kind of keep going back to it. So anyway, I really wanted to talk more about what was in the book and what I learned from this book, but I think what would be really great to end this little read with me is this quote: most of the time you're comparing your everyday life to the very few moments that people on social media choose to show the world. And that's kind of the whole point I want to do with this YouTube channel, is to talk about the points and things that we're not showing on an Instagram picture, or just like that we can do fun dances on TikTok, which I'm totally going to start a TikTok. That's a 2021 successful goal I'm going to go for, but I don't know where I was going because I had interrupt myself with that diatribe about TikTok. Oh yeah, so I think what I want to say is like this was a really great start to 2021 that wasn't about like how to be a better hustler or whatever. It was more about like it's okay to slow down, which is actually a whole section. It's about slowing down and sitting still instead of overachieving and then failing at it. So this was a great start to my 2021. I've obviously tabbed a lot of pieces I want to go back to. I kind of tabbed them thinking if I'm, being too strong, let me flip here because it triggered me in a good way while I was reading it. And yeah, so definitely suggest it. 5 stars I put on Goodreads. For February, I'm going to read This Is Why You're Single by Laura Lane and Angela Spera. I'm a little biased because I may have been in Girl Scouts with Angela, but just to brag. I don't know, I think it's like for Valentine's Day and love and all that stuff, it's fun to kind of talk about relationships. I mean, who doesn't want to talk about relationships? It's the reason why we all watch The Bachelor and The Bachelorette, am I right? But this is going to be my first read for February. If there's any other reads in between, I might talk about that, but I'm definitely going to do a read with me video on this one if you want to read along, or if you have any suggestions of books that you'd like me to review or talk about, do it. All right, well, that's all I feel like talking about for now, so I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.